fly ball, center field. Varsho back, near the wall, at the track, gone! Freddie Freeman! A home run to center field. Freeman walks it off in the 18th. Oh, Freddie delivers.
Okay, welcome to the show. We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. The call from our very own Boog Shambi at 2:50 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, just a few hours ago, as the Dodgers walk off Game 3 of the World Series in 18 innings. You could be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. In one of the most wild, insane games you'll ever see in your life, which I didn't see at the end, 6 hours and 39 minutes, because that was like it was an hour ago that it ended, basically. Yep. Dodgers up 2-1, 6-5 win, 18 innings. She is Michelle Smallman running the marathon on Sunday. He is Chris Canty. I am Evan Cohen. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you, Evan Cohen. Good morning, Michelle Smallman. But most importantly, good morning to Pat Costello. Isn't Pat the guy that told us that Shohei Ohtani was not a postseason performer?
I believe so, yes.
Wasn't he that guy? I mean,
surely you have more important things to talk about than me right now.
No.
Yeah, remember
We're going to talk about that. Remember that, Pat? The I'm over it segment? We're not talking enough about how Shohei Ohtani is not performing in the postseason.
Well, he wasn't.
Okay, all right.
Maybe I motivated him.
Yeah, okay.
Two homers, two doubles, that solo shot that tied the game 5-5.
I'm just saying, 4 extra base hits, reached base 9 times, which is a World Series record.
He is so good.
Absolutely ridiculous. He works 5 walks, 4 of which were intentional. He was so dominant that John Schneider says, you know what, we're not going to let that guy beat us. Anybody can beat us. Even Freddie Freeman, who won World Series MVP the year before, we'd rather have him beat us than the inevitability of Shohei Ohtani.
Well, guess what? Freddie Freeman did beat them. Freddie Freeman was like, okay, you want to put it on my shoulders? I'm good.
That's a bet.
I'll be sure to handle my business. He's the first player in World Series history with multiple career walk-off home runs. He did it in Game 1 last year, that walk-off grand slam. And that's why this Dodgers team feels so inevitable, because they have so many guys that can step up in those clutch moments and make that magic happen. Whether it's Shohei Ohtani with multiple home runs, Freddie Freeman with a shot when it matters the most. You've got Tommy Edman making clutch defensive plays. They just are so loaded with talent. And if you told me heading into this game that it was going to be an 18-inning marathon and I had to pick a winner, I would say the team that has been there, done that, the team with so many stars with that muscle memory is going to be able to outlast the other team, and they did it.
Let's dive into some of the numbers and then get back to Ohtani, because the numbers are overwhelming. Will Klein, relief pitcher, 4 innings, no runs, 5 strikeouts for the Dodgers. The Dodgers used 10 pitchers in this game. That's a World Series record. One of those pitchers, you may have heard of him. He's in his last season in Major League Baseball. He's going to be a first ballot, unanimous, potentially Hall of Famer. Clayton Kershaw, top of the 12, 2 outs. 5-5 game, bases loaded, comes in. He gets out of that jam, and the Tommy Edman little flip to first base, as small as just reference. How about Toronto with 19 runners left on base, a World Series record, just remarkable.
That's going to keep you up at night.
Well, they were already up at night because they had to play baseball.
George Springer injury will keep you up longer, though.
Yes. That's a problem. That's a problem. Let's get into the Ohtani part of this. You guys mentioned it. 4 of 4. Okay, that's the at-bats that count in the numbers there. 2 homers, 8 for the postseason, 2 doubles, 5 walks, 4 intentional, 3 ribbies, 14 for the postseason. Here's the wild thing. From after the 7th inning, there were in essence 11 innings, right? 10 or 11 innings, whatever it was.
They basically played a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went up 5 different times. They intentionally walked him 4 of them. And the 5th one where he walked, they just didn't intentionally do it. They just didn't throw him any pitches to hit. When we compare him to some of the greats of all time, which he already is, Bonds is the one that you're like, all right, well, there's Bonds, and then there may be in our lifetime, and then everybody else. Ken Griffey Jr. obviously right there with Bonds. He had a Bonds-like game last night, because the amazing thing with Bonds when he was at his peak was that they would walk him with the bases loaded and be like, I'd rather just face whoever's next and give him a run. I'd argue what Toronto did last night worked. As crazy as that sounds, and I don't, because he didn't score a run after that. I don't know, guys. Is he going to see another pitch the entire series?
They're going to have to pitch to him at some point.
Why?
They're going to have to. Because you've seen what that roster can do. They're flush with MVPs. So if you don't want to let Ohtani beat you, they got other guys that can beat you, whether it's Freddie Freeman or it's Mookie Betts, so on and so forth. You can't afford to continue to put guys on base and think that lineup isn't going to come through in a big spot. I would argue that they were fortunate last night with how many times Ohtani was able to reach base and how many guys that they were able to see on base, all of the traffic that they had for their pitchers. They were fortunate not to have the Dodgers put up a bigger number. So I don't know if that's something that's sustainable. I think that might be something that they use for the moment. But, I mean, how many games are the Dodgers going to go 2 of 14 with runners in scoring position?
Oof.
You know, for all of the things we're talking about, the guys left on base for the Blue Jays, the Dodgers left 18 guys on the bags. So how many games are you going to have where the rest of the lineup isn't going to come through? I don't think you're going to have many of those, which is why I think last night's game was an outlier. And, of course, the manager for the Blue Jays, you got to feel the heartbeat of the game. It just made more sense based on what you've already seen from Ohtani with 4 extra base hits to see if somebody else could do it. And unfortunately for him, he found out that Andrew Freeman built the roster where there's always a guy other than Ohtani, the star, that can step up in a big spot.
Not many vulnerabilities on the Dodgers team.
Hell no.
They are
The vulnerability was the bullpen, and those guys came through.
They did.
Everybody said, you know what? If we can get to the Dodgers bullpen, we got a chance. If the Blue Jays can grind out the starting pitching, we got a chance. No, you don't. No, you don't.
And by the way, up until this moment in the postseason, it hasn't been an issue because Dave Roberts has let the starters go. So what was the vulnerability heading into the postseason hasn't really presented itself. But is this a wrap, you guys? I know that there's a lot of baseball left to play. I know that when teams get down in the World Series that they sometimes find a way back. I am a fan of a team that was down to their final strike twice and came back and won the World Series. So I know that the impossible can happen. But what a dispiriting loss. You're going 18 innings.
Yeah, that's dispiriting. Yeah.
It's a dispiriting loss.
No, that's the word of the day. That's the word of the day.
Dispiriting?
Yes. Causing someone to lose enthusiasm or hope, disheartening. This was a dispiriting loss, though, for
worked
Toronto.
So hard to set that up. You didn't even answer the question that I asked both of you because you're like, I have to figure out a way of getting dispiriting in.
Because what is more dispiriting than what Toronto endured last night? An 18-inning marathon, and you lose the game on a walk-off?
I understand that.
You get that many guys on base, and you lose the game in 18 innings. There is no other way to describe this game other than dispiriting.
Oh, yeah, no other way. But I'd like Miss Baseball over there to answer the question that CC answered.
As a gunshot, Smalls.
Can you answer the question? He says you have to still pitch to Ohtani. I say I don't think so. Would you, if you were the Blue Jays, pitch to Ohtani the rest of the series? They didn't pitch to him from innings 8 to 18, and the Dodgers only scored 1 run. CC's saying they got fortunate. There's no way that's replicable moving forward, that they're going to get burnt by that. Would you, Michelle Smallman, pitch to Ohtani the rest of the series?
So my answer is informed by a lived experience, and I would not pitch to him because I am a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals, who in 2013 kept attacking Big Papi at the plate thinking, oh, eventually we're going to get him. And guess what? He never cooled off. He single-handedly beat them in the 2013 World Series. So many people in St. Louis harken back to that and say, if you just would have avoided him at the plate, you would have had a chance. So I personally would not go after Ohtani.
So lead off tonight.
But to Cece's point, there are so many other guys in that lineup that you're concerned with.
It worked. Even though they lost last night, there's an argument it worked. John Schneider is the manager of the Blue Jays. Ironically, he's also the general manager of the Seahawks, who would now, again, find their way into this, but it's not the same guy. He had this to say about the strategy facing Ohtani last night.
We're trying to pitch around him.
I know.
What I mean? And you trust Sir Anthony to make pitches to do that. And sometimes for pitchers, it's hard to do that, when you're kind of trying to throw a ball and didn't put it where you want to put it. But, he had a great game. He's a great player. But I think, after that, you just kind of take the bat out of his hands. Dave
Roberts is the Dodgers manager. Other side of it, they walked him 5 times, 4 times intentionally last night in one game, which is wild. It's Bonds-like. It's the only way to describe it. Here's what Roberts had to say post-game.
No, I get it. He's, the best player on the planet, and, he was on the heels of a huge offensive night, and John smelled that and wasn't going to let Shohei beat him at all, obviously, and even when nobody's on base and putting him on to make the other guys beat him, and respect it. And fortunately, we have other guys behind Shohei that can still do some things, and a hard-fought game.
All right, so just to be clear, I think Smalls and I are saying that to lead off the game tonight, a game that he, of course, is the starting pitcher also, we are suggesting that the Blue Jays should walk him to start the game tonight. I want to be clear on this, Smalls. You and I are saying that. Maybe not intentionally, but nothing hit. And CC, you're saying good luck because then you got Mookie and Freddie. You can't do it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
This is what Dave Roberts just said. This is why he's the best player in the sport. Think he had a 3-home run, 10 strikeout game to get to the World Series. And in the World Series, he got on base 9 times in one game, and he's the starting pitcher in the same day, later in the day. I mean, this is insane.
He's not a good postseason performer, according to Pat Costello.
Oh, boy.
He's not.
For him, his numbers at that time were not as good as they could have been and have been in the postseason at the time Pat said it.
But he changed up his routine. Normally he's in the cage. That's how he takes BP, and that's how he gets ready for games. And because he was in a slump.
For him,
as Pat pointed out, he was. I mean, he was not performing at the plate the way that anyone expected him to. He switched it up to his credit. He went out. He took BP on the field. He wanted to see the ball more. He wanted to see the field more, and opened up his vision in a different way. And since he made that change, he has been unlocked. And I just hope we savor this. I say this all the time. I hope we savor what we're seeing with Shohei Ohtani, because we will never see another baseball player like this as long as we live.
I just want to put this out there. Freddie Freeman, I mean, in a big spot, on the biggest of stages.
Pretty good.
We're spending a lot of time talking about Ohtani, and rightfully so. I don't know that there's a guy that I want in a big spot, in the biggest of games, more than Freddie Freeman.
Amen.
Period.
We've seen it time and time again.
Period.
Across multiple franchises.
Period. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know the numbers with George Springer, and I know Shohei Ohtani is special, generation. I don't know that there's a hitter in baseball that I want game on the line, World Series, more than Freddie Freeman.
Ice in his veins.
That same description
awesome.
could be used towards a certain quarterback who happened to play last night, which we will get into in just a couple of minutes. Reminder, the World Series is on ESPN Radio. All the action tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN app. After a guy gets on base 9 times, he's the starting pitcher tonight. Just remarkable. We will get into Monday Night Football after Smalls has this from Venmo.